Hello and welcome to the Concrete Jungle Guide to Making Moulds and Ornaments. For the next hour or so, we will be exploring the different methods and techniques involved in the business, right from creating your own original masterpiece in clay to the secrets of getting a professional painted finish to your ornament quickly and easily. We'll take you on a journey and hope that at the end of it you will feel confident to create your own moulds and produce quality ornaments which will cost pennies but sell for pounds. Making ornaments can be great fun, and a tremendous amount of satisfaction can be gained from producing goods that people will want and are keen to buy. There is also a certain therapeutic benefit in being absorbed in creating something of artistic value. The high profit margin is also a very good incentive, and it is for these reasons that many people find it to be the ideal hobby or small business. We're going to start off by looking at how to mix the concrete to the right consistency, the ingredients used, and the filling and emptying of the moulds. We'll talk later about sculpting, mould making, painting and marketing, but now it's time to get our hands dirty, burn a few calories and start making some garden ornaments. Tapping and rotating the mould. Whether mixing by hand or using a mixer, the ratio of ingredients is the same: 4 parts stones or gravel, 2 parts coarse sand and 1 part cement. The amount of water added to the mix will vary according to how damp the sand is, but it is essential that a nice runny and creamy mix is obtained. Watch how the concrete pours easily with none of it sticking to the sides of the jug. Let's have a look again at a mould being filled, because this is very critical and it will determine the quality of the finished casting. Most of the latex moulds have plastic or glass fibre support jackets around them, which keep them in shape when filling. A few nuts and bolts need to be undone first, and then the 2 halves of the jacket can be removed, revealing the rubber mould. We can start to peel the rubber back carefully, and this is where the washing up liquid comes in. Put a liberal amount of it around the outside of the rubber before it is pulled away from the casting. Without the washing up liquid, the rubber will have a tendency to stick to itself to the point of being almost impossible to remove. We're going to take a look at the use of an acid bath in action now and see how it loves to eat concrete but hates rubber. Hydrochloric acid is used, and it can be bought fairly easily either from your local DIY store, where it is usually called brick or patio cleaner, or from a specialist chemical company. I recommend that you purchase a 25-litre drum from a specialist company for about £25 if you plan to make ornaments on a large scale. For the purpose of this demonstration, we have dipped just half the mould in order to show the dramatic effect. A few minutes is all that is needed, and the mould can then be rinsed thoroughly and used again immediately. We have made a metal frame to support the snail during the dipping period, and after checking that the clay is free from debris, we lower it into the drum. Contrary to common belief, it is not necessary to build up coats by repeatedly dipping and drying in between layers. Simply submerge the clay into the latex and leave it. The longer it is left, then the thicker the coat of latex will be. We're now going to form a 3-part rigid case for the snail mould using fiberglass matting and resin. For this job, you'll need the following materials and tools. Many of these items can be bought locally from specialist roofing outlets where fiberglass is used for flat roofs. The internet will provide a host of specialist suppliers if you cannot buy locally. Of glass fibre will be created and should not be breathed in. We'll cut along the edge all the way round, leaving us with a flange of about 1 inch. Make sure you keep well away from the actual rubber part of the mould. We need now to think about the future a little. Whilst the latex moulds will last a long time, they will eventually deteriorate, and we will then have lost the design for good. So we need to make a master mould out of casting plaster, and this can be used to produce identical moulds in the future. It's best to do this immediately with our newly created mould so that we get a perfect copy. So we're going to mix a plaster now and fill the mould with it. It's a good idea to fill the snail with water and tip it into a bucket. This gives us more or less the right amount of water to mix with the plaster. Casting plaster is fairly readily available and can be bought from builders' merchants, etc. for low cost.